Hey everybody, how you doing? This is DJ, and I'm back. Going to do a real quick cooking, cooking review, maybe? Recipe review, we'll say. So we're going to make some pickled eggs today, but we're going to make some, like, Pennsylvania Dutch beet pickled eggs. These are super popular in certain parts of Pennsylvania. I grew up in Pennsylvania, and these were extremely popular where I'm from. So, to do this, super simple. Get some eggs. I use 18 in one can of sliced beets. You want to go ahead and get yourself some brown sugar, some cinnamon, some Chinese 5-spice, and some apple cider vinegar. Do not use regular vinegar. Do not use white sugar. You want to get that rich, deep, dark sweetness. It goes great with the vinegariness that is the apple cider vinegar and the beets. And you're going to want to let that sit and marinate those eggs for at least 1 week. 2 weeks is about as far as I would go. Anything more than that, you start running into issues with, do I have the proper amount of acidity for these things to, stay that long in the fridge and all that kind of stuff. But that's what you're going to do. 1 can of beets, you're going to drain the beet juice into a saucepan. You're going to put the beets in the jar on top of the eggs. Then you're going to do a touch of cinnamon, a touch of Chinese 5-spice, 2 cups of apple cider vinegar, 1 cup of brown sugar. Once you get that in your saucepan, which is right over here, you're going to let that steep for a little bit. Let it steep for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and then you're going to want to crank it real high because you want to bring it to a boil, because these are going to be pickling and they're going to be sitting in your refrigerator for a while. So you want to make sure that you kill any potential bacteria and that kind of stuff. The vinegar will naturally retard some of the bacterial issues that you can have, but bacteria like sugar, and there is sugar in this, so you're going to want to make sure you bring this to a rapid, heavy boil. Let it boil for a little bit, and then you're just going to top off the eggs. You're going to put some saran wrap over the top so it's airtight. Screw your lid back on, and you're good to go. One thing I will mention about this sauce, though, when it starts to boil, it is going to boil rapidly, and it will overflow this container. So, whatever happens, do not let that be a thing, because it will stain, it will stick, you will have a horrible day. So you're going to want to make sure that you have a spoon or something to go ahead and stir that up when it starts to bubble. I am going to leave it sit here for a second just to see, so that you can see how fast it does bubble. Hopefully I'll be able to catch it. Because if I don't, I'm not going to be a happy person. Because like I said, this is not going to lead to a good experience for anybody. But let me pan back here real quick while we're waiting for that to boil, so that you can see that's everything that you're going to need. Now, I've been making this for years. My grandmother's made this. My mother's made this. I make this. Everybody from my home area makes this. So I don't measure anything. I couldn't tell you if there's 2 cups of apple cider vinegar in there, or 1 cup, or a half cup, or whatever. I eye it until it looks good. You just want to make sure that however much fluid that you have, it is going to be enough to cover your eggs. That's why I always use 18 eggs, because that's the way that I make it. So I'm pretty familiar with what it's going to take to cover 18 eggs in a can of beets in the Vlasic pickle jar that I've been using for God knows how long. So that's good to go. Another thing that you can do, what a lot of people like to do, is they like to slice up like a sweet onion and put in there. Same thing, you don't cook it or anything, just raw, slice it up, throw it in your bin. And once it's in your bin, it's going to marinate in there too, so you get a little bit of that spice. But we're going to cut back here so you can see the boil. So now it's starting to go. And watch how fast this thing starts to rise. So if you're not paying attention and you're on the other side of the room, it's probably not the way that you're going to want to do this. Another issue with this recipe is your entire house is going to smell like vinegar. My girlfriend hates that, so I have to make these when she's at work. Because if I make them any other time, I got to hear about it for God knows how long. Alright, so we're boiling, and you can see it starting to rise. And rise. And rise. And we're going to just go right ahead and just stop that right there. I let it boil like that 2 or 3 times because I want to make sure that 1, I get all that sugar melted in there, but 2, that it's really nice and hot and it's really going to kill any sort of bacteria that, might be hiding out in there. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. You see how fast it rises. I cannot stress this enough because I've ruined clothes, towels, everything. Because this beet juice, it stains and it stains immediately, and you will never, ever, ever get it out. So I'm pretty confident with that being nice and done. So we're going to tilt this back real quick, just so that you can watch the pour. Now, I'm going to take this empty can here and get it out of the way, because we don't really need that. I get the seasonings out of the way. Same with the sugar and the vinegar, because I'm about to pour some scalding hot beet juice and marinade, or whatever you want to call it, in that jar. And I am not in the business of scalding myself. I'm also not in the business of making a huge mess that I have to try to clean up. So, this should be super simple. We are just going to pour it in like you would pour anything else in. And 1, 2, 3. Very nice, going in good. Look at this, it's topping up great. And that is that. Now, what I like to do is I like to immediately get some saran wrap so that I can kind of seal it, because it's going to suck that saran wrap right down. When it starts to cool and you got that pressure difference in there, it's going to take care of that almost immediately. So there we go. Plus it seals it tight. I don't want anything creeping in there, and I don't want any sort of air, and I certainly don't want any kind of odors to get loose in my refrigerator while we're cooling that down. So get this out of the way. You can see what it's going to look like. Go ahead and take your lid, assuming you're using, you know, just a repurposed jar. I mean, you might have some sort of specialty equipment for this. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why you would. Just use an old pickle jar. And that's what it looks like. And we're going to let this sit for, like I said, at least a week, maybe closer to 2. I will check it probably about 5 days in, give it a good mix up. After 2 weeks, these things are going to come out beautiful. They are going to be deep, rich, pink eggs. They're going to taste absolutely fantastic. Great as a side dish. I know a lot of people that make deviled eggs out of these. They'll pickle them like this, and then they will make just a traditional deviled egg. You know, they'll take the yolk and whip it up with some mayo and stuff like that. But, you know, you can pretty much do whatever you want. I know this is kind of an unknown recipe outside of the Pennsylvania Dutch East Coast area. You know, the Delmarva area, Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania, maybe a little Jersey, and a little bit of Virginia. But outside of that area, it's pretty unknown. So if it's something that you look interested in, go ahead and give it a try. Super easy, super cheap. Eggs are cheap, beets are cheap, and everything else you got in your house. So if you like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I might do more of this kind of stuff, because every now and again I make random things, and I might as well film it, because why not? So give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down, tell me what you didn't like, and we'll see if we can get a little bit better. So I appreciate you guys checking it out. Until next time, bye.